All right. Basically, all you guys know that I was, I did the whole fast thing for a while, 40 days. And some of that was spiritual and personal and all that good stuff, but some of it was professional too. And the bottom line that came out of that, some of the stuff that I wanted to kind of share with you. One thing is I just kind of self-evaluation. I felt like we actually have a pretty good team here. The sales team, the management team's good. We all work together really well, I think. The sales team itself is good. The delivery team, actually, now that we're all geared up, they do a good job for us. The warehouse, of course, Ronnie and Anthony basically got, what do they call it? Warehouse of the Year? Yeah. That's not what they call it. Best damn warehouse of the year, I think. Something like that. Yeah, that. But so basically the bottom line is that we're pretty solid. As a team, we've got a little turnover going on, and we need to recruit in some guys that are like us.
Get right on it, man.
Right. But the thing that came out of the fast basically was I was kind of fed up. And basically what I was fed up with is just mediocrity. That's personal life and professional life. I kind of felt like we just kind of rock along, and I actually wanted to compliment, and I wish Travis was here this morning. I know he's gone today, but I know he's been making a real concerted effort to keep stuff clean around. I came in the other day and it's like all the desks were clean. It's like, wow. It's like, there's not, it's not like I have to show up at work and immediately start cleaning stuff up. So that was kind of awesome. But I know he, for one's been making a real effort at that. And it's one of those things that we can do to be a team, to not make other guys cover for us when things are getting nasty. And I know I'm as bad as anybody probably about wanting to get out of here when it's 8 o'clock. And but that last hour of the day, there's no reason that we can't be, straightening up the showroom floor and doing that reset walk. It's on our task list. It's one of the things that we're supposed to be doing. The past year really has been kind of a little bit of a challenge because of the back order situation and some other other stuff that's going on. It's the slow part of the year to start with, and for a couple of you guys, you might not realize that, but yeah, mid-March to mid-May is usually one of the two really slow times of the year. So we've been dealing with that, plus the back order issue, plus we're up against the remodel numbers from last year when we were just letting stuff go for, like half price. It's pretty easy to sell when you can do that. And so we're up against those numbers. And of course, this is the time of year everybody's taking vacation. We kind of got through that. And so now we can go back to having our 2.5 days off, right? Right?
We've been doing it.
Yeah, okay. But
been here for 2 weeks, Fred.
yeah, right?
Even when you're on vacation.
I've been gone. Yeah, and the sad thing about that is that I had that $15,000 January, gave everybody a huge head start, and still managed to get past everybody but Mark by the end of April. That was pretty sad, honestly. But bottom line is, I kind of felt like we'd been in survival mode mentally, and we've been surviving. And we needed to get into a different mindset, and that's really what this morning is about. It's not that we're doing anything necessarily wrong. It's just that we're not doing all that we could be doing, and I think that's mindset as much as anything. And we need to change that because right now we're getting into the busy part of the year, going through mid-May through Memorial Weekend especially. It's the busy part of the year. The back order issues are starting to work themselves out a little bit. We still have some issues that way on the sofa side. We are back to full team strength though. Corporate visits, I don't know what they're doing this year that way, but
I don't think they're quite figured it out yet.
it's kind of getting to be about that time of year, though, where they start taking the jet. And when they do pop in here, we want it to be awesome. Of course, this is the time of year where we start making a little bit of money, and we want to set some of that aside for the times that it is slow. But new culture, new store culture, new standard. Ronnie and I'm glad he walked in. Ronnie and I had a talk this past week, just about, he got named best damn warehouse in the company, and actually deserved it. I mean, it was, what he's done back there is awesome. All the team spirit stuff and teamwork, motivational stuff that's on the walls and whatnot. But I challenged him because we've got corporate's attention now back in the warehouse. They, it's like, okay, we're on the map. They actually recognized us, recognized Ronnie and the hard work that he did. So now is the time when, if we can come up with some changes to make things run operationally even smoother, then the company's going to pay attention to that. Well, that's kind of true for us too. We know now that we've got a little bit of a reputation that we can build on. So if we as a team can come together and come up with things that helps us to produce better, then that's something that we want to take advantage of, especially right now, and kind of get things instituted and get in those habits before corporate does show up. One of the things that I wanted to emphasize basically was just this new standard, new culture. And essentially what I'm talking about doing is getting away from goals per se. We're still going to say we have goals. We're not going to, get away from that because, corporate wants us to have goals. Fine, but I want us to think of goals in a different way. I want us to think of goals as minimum expectations. And there's a reason for that. I wanted to show you this video. I'm pretty sure everybody here has already seen this at some point. This is the death crawl scene from Facing the Giants. But this, I'm kind of torn between saying this had a huge impact on my philosophy on goals, or maybe it wasn't so much that is a real embodiment of my philosophy on goals. Yeah. And the reason it is because I don't believe in goals. Now, corporate hates me to say that, and Tom especially, when he calls. Does everybody here know what I tell Tom when he calls and says, "Hey, partner, what you go for the day?" What do I say? I tell Tom, my goal is to do the best I can do with every customer that comes through my door. That's my goal. To do the best I can do with every customer that comes through my door. I don't like setting a number, because why? Because one of the things about goals is you have to know that that goal is attainable. Well, at the start of the day, you don't know whether you're going to have 2 ups all day or 12 ups all day. If you set 5,000 as a goal for your day and you have 12 ups, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to hit that goal. But if you only have 2 ups all day and they're just not in a buying mood, and you work with them as best you can, and you get, a $50 accessory sale out of them, as long as you got every dime in sales that you could get that day, there's no reason that you should feel like you failed to meet a goal. That goal was not attainable for that day. And because that goal was not attainable, it wasn't a goal. You understand the point that I'm trying to get to you? Now, what I had suggested is that we should think of goals in a different way, in the sense of minimum expectations for ourselves. So if normally you would set a weekly goal of 13,000 in sales, or maybe 15,000, and by the way guys, if you set a goal of 15,000 in sales, if you make 15,000 in sales every week, you're going to Sales Leader Summit. Some of y'all don't know what that is. That's kind of you could call it extra training, but it's really just a week off. I mean, that's kind of what it is. And usually they do this down in Florida, and you get to have some what do they call it? Sharpen the saw activities.
It's fun. This is just a 3-day too, but it's fun.
Yeah.
You get to see other people that you normally wouldn't.
Other stores, some of your $1 million sellers and stuff.
It's all. There's no real training about it. It's all fun.
Yeah. It's corporate puts it out there as a little bit of training, but not really. So anyway, let's watch this. I want you to pay attention to the dialogue. I mean, the actual challenge is pretty inspirational, but listen to the dialogue as well.
It's not even funny, dude.
So, Coach, how strong is Westview this year?
A lot stronger than we are.
You already written Friday night down as a loss, Brock?
Well, not if I know we could beat them.
Come here, Brock. You too, Jeremy.
What, am I in trouble now?
Not yet. I want to see you do the death crawl again, except I want to see your absolute best.
What, you want me to go to the 30?
I think you can go to the 50.
50. I can go to the 50 if nobody's on my back.
I think you can do it with Jeremy on your back. But even if you can, I want you to promise me you're going to do your best.
All right.
Your best.
Okay.
You going to give me your best?
I'm going to give you my best.
All right, one more thing. I want you to do it blindfolded.
Why?
Because I want you giving up at a certain point when you can go further. Get down. Jeremy, get on his back. I did a good tight hold, Jeremy. All right, let's go, Brock. Keep your knees off the ground, just your hands and feet. There you go. A little bit left. A little bit left. There you go. Show me good effort. That way, Brock. You keep coming. There you go. It's a good start. A little bit left. A little bit left. There you go, Brock. Good strength. That's it, Brock. That's it.
Not the 20 yet?
Forget the 20. You give me your best. You keep going. That's it. Now, don't stop, Brock. You got more in you than that.
I ain't done. I'm just resting a second.
You gotta keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's go. Don't quit till you got nothing left. There you go. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. You keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. Keep driving it. Your very best. Your very best. Your very best. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. That's it. That's it. Keep going. Don't quit on me. Keep going. Keep driving it. Keep your knees off the ground. That's it. Your very best. Don't quit on me. Your very best. Keep driving. Keep driving. There you go. There you go. That's it. You keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. Keep driving it. Don't quit till you got nothing left. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. That's it. That's it. Keep going. I want everything you got. Come on, keep going. It hurts. Don't quit on me. Your very best. Keep driving. Keep driving. There you go. There you go.
He's heavy.
I know he's heavy.
I'm buying his strength.
Then you negotiate with your body to find more strength, but don't you give up on me, Brock. You keep going. You hear me? You keep going. You're doing good. You keep going. Do not quit on me. You keep going.
It hurts.
I know it hurts. You keep going. You keep going. It's all hard from here. 30 more steps. You keep going, Brock. Come on. Keep going.
Burn.
And let it burn.
It's a burn.
It's all hard. You keep going, Brock. Come on. Come on. Keep going. You promised me your best. Your best. Don't stop. Keep going.
Too hard.
It's not too hard. You keep going. Come on, Brock. Give me more. Give me more. Keep going. 20 more steps. 20 more. Keep going, Brock. Give me your best. Don't quit. No. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Brock Kelly, you don't quit. Keep going. Keep going. Go, Brock Kelly. You don't quit on me. No, you keep going. You keep going. Go, Brock. 10 more steps. 10 more. 10 more. 10 more. Keep going. Don't quit. Give me yours. You can. end zone. Brock, you are the most influential player on this team. If you walk around defeated, so will they. Oh, tell me you can't give me more than what I've been seeing. You just carried a 140-pound man across this whole field in your arms. Brock, I need you. God's gifted you with the ability of leadership. Don't waste it.
Coach?
Can I count on you?
Yes. Coach?
What is it, Jeremy?
I want to win 60.
Like this.
All right.
Who next? Who next? So basically what I'm talking about this morning is developing this attitude of doing your best, your very best. Nothing that we do in this business is as hard as that. What we do is, it's pretty freaking easy. And so it's really just a matter of mindset, mentality. Are you gonna slack off because it's easy? Or because it's easy, are you gonna give it your best all the time? Okay. Where I wanted to stop was basically right there. Why did the coach put the blindfold on the player?
Before he could see the end zone. You know how
He
far.
didn't give up too early.
Before he wanted to see the end zone that way, he's like, I got
I mean,
the mark that he thought he could do.
yeah. I mean, there's the point, and there's what I'm talking about with goals. What was it the coach said exactly? He said, I don't want you quitting. I don't want you giving up at a certain point when you could go further. To me, that's what a goal is. What happens when you cross the finish line in a race? Have you ever seen any kind of a race, whether it's car racing, track, whatever, where somebody crosses the finish line and they keep going maximum effort after that? No. And that's what happens with us in our mentality toward goals, is we see the goal as a finish line. And so we get to the goal, we get to the finish line, if you will, and let up. Anybody here track type person? You know what a bell lap is?
I don't think so.
You're in a long race, there's like it's a 12-lap race. That last lap, they ring a bell. That's kind of to tell everybody, all the runners, hey, this is the final lap. This is the bell lap. And so if that runner has a finishing kick, if you will, or if that runner is a runner that finishes strong, they know to take it up a notch, because that's when you're going to put away all the competition. Because you're going to take it up a notch and they don't have anything left. That's what that bell lap is. What I'm talking about doing with minimum expectations instead of goals is a mindset. I want that minimum expectation in your mind to be like the bell lap. To be like, okay, I've got what I have to get done. I've got that behind me. It's all icing from here. And just kick it into high gear and do what you can. You know, the third week of April, I was in week 4 of my fast. Do you really think I was thinking about selling at all? I mean, you think that's where my head was? I'm thinking about selling in that 4th week of my fast. I did 24,000 in the 3rd week of April. I don't even know where that came from. It's like I wasn't even focused on selling, and it was happening. Now, we're all going to have weeks like that. I thought we were up against a week where freaking Miles had a $13,000 day, but apparently that was a year and a month ago instead of a year ago. So you got the wrong date in. What do you feel like when you start getting close to a finish line? What does that do to your mind? Let's say you're in a long race. For me, 2 miles is a long race. Let's say you're running a 2-mile race. What do you start feeling like as you get closer and closer to that finish line? What's going through your head, mentally, psychologically? Come on.
Second wind.
That's not bad. I like that. That's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm dying.
When you pull out that little extra to get it done.
You do. But the whole psychology of that finish line is that it gets harder. It's getting harder, and it's getting harder. Why? Because that goal is supposed to be something that's hard to get to. That's our mindset. We have that as a goal because it's supposed to be a challenge. It's supposed to be hard to get to. And so as we start getting closer and closer to it, our mind is telling us it's getting harder, it's getting harder, it's getting harder. I don't want us to be of that mindset. I want us to be of the idea of the second wind or that bell lap. So that, yes, we've met our minimum expectation. We've got that behind us. Now, let's excel. Now let's do better. So I want everybody here basically to join me in where I am in my mindset, thinking mediocrity is the enemy. Doing okay is the enemy. But if mediocrity is the enemy, then what do we have to use to fight against that? Well, a sense of personal excellence. And basically what I'm asking of you here is, I would love for everybody here to make a kind of a commitment with themselves toward personal excellence. I want everybody here to be of that mindset of, you know what, I'm going to show up at work every day and I'm going to give it my best every day. I'm going to be the consummate professional. I'm going to be that guy that's going the extra mile for my team. A dedication to growth, whether it's growing in your product knowledge, growing in your skills as a manager trainee, whatever it is that you're doing, I want you to always be thinking about opportunities for growth and dedicating yourself to always growing, always looking down the road further. Continuing education, if that's what your mindset is, if you're maybe thinking along the lines of getting a degree sometime, take some night classes or take a online course or something like that. Continuing your education. Having the attitude of overcoming. We've had some challenges with the backwater thing, other stuff like that. So develop that attitude of overcoming. Always be thinking of yourself as being a team player and everything being about the team. I got to tell you a real quick story. Let's see how much time I have left here.
Got 15 minutes.
Okay, so plenty of time. I had a high school coach that I learned a really interesting lesson from, one that I wasn't expecting to learn. It was just high school PE stuff. We were playing volleyball, and we had about, 28 kids in the class. So we chose teams. Everybody been there, done that, right? We chose teams, except the twist in it was the coach chose 2 captains. And those 2 captains chose 8 or 10 players each. Well, but then that left another 8 or 10 kids sitting out that hadn't been chosen. They were the 3rd team, the leftovers. And I thought, well, that's not even fair. You got these 2 team captains, they've chosen the 8 or 10 best players and the 8 or 10 best players, and now you've got nothing but the dregs of the PE class left. You want to know something? Over that next 4 or 5 weeks as we were playing volleyball, You know who the best team was? I mean, is it obvious from the way that I told the story? It was that third team that ended up winning almost every game. And the reason was because we knew we had to play as a team. You had a bunch of, really great athletes on those other two teams, but they kept trying to play the whole game themselves, taking over, other people's space and other people's responsibilities. And that third team basically ended up being the team to beat because they were a team. They took care of each other, but they allowed each other to, the space to play their game and take care of their responsibilities too. In a sense, we're a little bit like that. We've got to behave like that. We've got to behave as a team and be a team player. When somebody is swamped, yes, we're going to try and take care of that teammate. Maybe write up a ticket for them. But by the same token, that team player, we have to respect each other enough to know that, oh, hey, if Jared's going to write up this ticket for me because I'm busy with another customer writing up another ticket at the moment, and the idea is we're trying to take care of the customer, right? Then when Jared's swamped 3 days from now, I'm not going to be sitting off on my phone messing around. I'm going to try and take care of them. This is what I'm talking about. We've got to be committed to each other as a team and basically just committed. What I'm hoping to gain from you this morning is a commitment, not just in your professional life, but also in your personal life. I could care less how you live your life. That's not up for me to say. That's a decision for you to make. But I am saying that the way that you live your personal life is also going to impact what you do here. So if we're going to give our best, our very best, when we're here, what's that going to look like? Because there's going to be people like Tom that's going to say, well, that's not a goal either, because it's not measurable. Yes, it is. If I'm giving my best, there are measurable things that I'm going to be doing. You've got a task list every day. Is everything on your task list done by the end of the day? As you see another need, do you add something to your task list? Write it down and take care of it. Minimum expectations. Have you met those minimum expectations and then exceeded that? That's something that's measurable too. Every customer greeted, helped, happy, leaving here with that ultimate guest experience that corporate wants us to give them. And honestly, it shouldn't be a matter of corporate wants us to give them. We ought to want our customers to come in and to leave here knowing that they've been served and they're happy. Every team member assisted to be in the team thing. I won't go over that again. Consummate professionalism displayed. It's honestly embarrassing to me when 2 or 3 guys are hanging around a phone and they're all yucking it up over a video or something, and there's like 2 customers standing not 20 feet away. That shouldn't be happening. That should never happen. If there's not any customers in the store and everything that you've got to get done on the day is done, I don't have a problem with the phone thing. Okay? But if there is a customer in the store, I don't care that it's not your up. If there's a customer in the store, period, put the phone away. I mean, even me, I have to check myself on that because I do a lot of email stuff on the phone with corporate, but the customer doesn't know that. To the customer, it just looks like you're goofing around on your phone. So we shouldn't be doing that. But, language, be professional. Humor, there's a time, a place. And when there's a customer standing 10 feet away, that's not the time, okay? Negativity, if you've got something negative to say, we're all ears. I don't think Clint, Mark, or me minds hearing some negative stuff once in a while. But do that privately. Because there is negative stuff from time to time. A lot of times it's back order. No phones out unless all of that's done and there's no customers around. Hold each other accountable. I took Miles out on a dip, and he basically had brought up something that he said, you know, he had a problem with me. That's fine. Absolutely. We need to hold each other accountable. Don't do it in a snarky way. A little bit of humor helps. But everybody here ought to be trying to do their best. So everybody here ought to have no problem with being held accountable. Commitment to do your best. This last thing, leadership training. Now, one of the negative things that I had commented on recently is this whole DISC thing, the personality, and using that with our customers. I've complained about that several times, not because I don't believe in it, but because I've been preaching that message for 6 years. When I came to this position, I came out of a human and resources training position with the state of Missouri, where I was teaching that stuff. And so I was here maybe 2 months when I started telling people we ought to be using this with customers. That's the whole point. You communicate with a customer in the way that they're comfortable, it puts them at ease, they're more in a buying mood, it helps build trust, a whole bunch of things that come out of that. And then it takes the company 6 years and hiring some outside person to come in and talk about it to be doing it. Well, okay, so I decided there's several things that I used to teach. One of them is leadership. So what we're going to start doing Sunday mornings, I'd like you here at 11:15. We're just going to take 20 minutes, half hour tops, and we're going to do some leadership training. Some of this is going to be stuff that'll help you in your professional life. Some of it will help you in your personal life. But what we're talking about are things that you would go to management candidate school and you'd pick up there. Except that you're going to have a leg up because I used to teach this stuff and I can basically get you there now so that you're not waiting, so that when you go up there you look like the genius, you look like the expert. So basically I'm going to ask Denver Mattress people to join us too for those sessions. Let's see if there was anything else. Yeah, we had a little bit of a discussion. What you do in your off time does impact what you do here at work. For example, showing up hungover, you're not going to be giving your best here at the store. I will say again, how you live your life is entirely up to you. I'm just asking you to make a commitment to excellence, make a commitment to professionalism, and that's going to involve maybe not going out getting drunk on a work night, stuff like that. All right. Okay. I think that's yeah, pretty much. There's a few things that I wrote down here that you might want to think about. All right. Well, let's get the store open. We're up against, what do we need, about 20 for today?
21.
21? All right. Make it happen, guys.
Do it. Set appointments, prospect. If they're not buying today, they'll buy next weekend, right?
Right.
VIP.